Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome to episode 11 of Civilization 5 as Korea on Emperor difficulty. We'll eventually win one of these games legitimately at this difficulty. So I'm about ready to go to war with Pachacuti. I'm going to probably just wait until I get this long swordsman, just so I've got a little bit more zone of control on the front line. We've got quite a bit of bombard here. I mean, we do have a Huacha. We also have a few crossbows. We just don't have an awful lot up front to give them some protection, so I would like to get that swordsman out. And I think we've got another Huacha somewhere working its way up. I'm almost certain I had a second one. I don't know where it's disappeared to. I'm sure it's somewhere within the network of tiles and I just can't see it. Or maybe I imagined it. But I'm making another one there. Somebody also pointed out that when I did mouse over the Incans before, that it actually turned around and did say the number of cities, and indeed it does. If you actually read that second paragraph, the Inca, Pachacuti, medieval era, friendly, 29 technologies, 3 tradition, 3 liberty, 1 patronage, founder of Hinduism, 28 population, 3 cities. So it was 2, it's actually now gone up to 3, and I wondered why. I thought, well, maybe he's got one here in the Fog of War, but he hasn't. He's actually gone and settled a new city over here, which is a little bit forward, because he's now got a touching border with France. So I was trying to decide what I should do for the war declaration. I thought I had one of 3 choices. I could either try and bribe Pachacuti to go to war with France. Now that'd be fine, because the instant that I then declare on Pachacuti, that deal breaks, which means I no longer have to pay him. Now, he'll still have to stay at war with France for a certain number of turns before he can peace out, but because I've broken the deal, he's under no obligation to stay at war once he can peace out with France. My other option is to go to war with France, is to bribe France to go to war with Pachacuti, which will keep them at war longer, and that deal won't break even after I attack Pachacuti. Or the third option is to just declare war on Pachacuti and ask France if they'll join me. Now the problem with that, it means the war will start at the same time. So what I'm going to consider doing, we'll allow a turn or two just to pass while I get some more units in position. I mean, he has a lot of units and he's constantly juggling them around all over the place, which is a little bit of a pain. But I do want to try and get at least a few of my you know, I want to get another swordsman up here on this hill to give us a little bit more zone of control. And we know that Pachacuti has wow, that's a jungle. Do we want to keep that and maybe just go and put a do we want to get rid of that? Is that a jungle tile? Yeah, do we want to keep that possibly? And just we need the production here, I suppose. We have got a few mines though. It's not a bad city for production. Maybe that's just going to be a trading post. And we've got some jungle tiles here. Screw it. Let's go ahead and put another mine in then. Actually, no, we can make it a trading post. So if we can, let's. I'm not just going to YOLO in, because I know that Pachacuti actually has a fair few units in there. Because he had the Brandenburg Gate. So we want to stay back here and just try and pick his units off as they come towards us. I'm not going to give you open borders. I'll give you them for 7 gold per turn. It's not good enough, is it? Well, it doesn't really matter, because I guess if I'm going to go to war with you, I could sell these to anybody else, because France is actually France would like the cocoa, so I could always trade it with France. Yeah, see, he has quite a lot of melee units. You want to declare war on Khan. That's cool and stuff, but he's miles away from me, so well, I guess he's not really. I guess if we actually, you want to give me iron for the cocoa. I'm going to refuse for now because I've got a better deal for you. Yeah, you can go away as well. You can go. Why would I want to swap cocoa for iron? That's a really bad deal. Yeah, I was just going to say the Mongols aren't all that far away from me. They're actually only just the other side of the ocean over here. Why wouldn't it let me scroll? Oh, we haven't been all the way around the world yet. We haven't proved that the world is round, so I can't scroll off the edge. But yeah, he's quite close to me in actual fact. France, how about, if you want this cocoa, how about you declare war on Pachacuti? What do you want for this? Dyes, iron, open borders. I don't have a spare dyes, but how about I give you a cocoa? Ah, there we go. What an excellent deal. Have some chocolate, declare war on the Incans. Absolutely fine. I'm still unsure as to what pillaged all of these tiles over here. Surely it cannot have been, let's build a plantation. Surely it cannot have been barbarians. Especially with the huge amount of units that the Incans have. So the main purpose of doing this is hopefully the French will draw them away from my border here. So I can prepare a little better and then thin them out when they head towards me. And brilliant, we've got banking. That means we can have another trade route. Probably going to want to keep most of my trade routes with the city-states for now. Now, hopefully he's just going to move all of his units over here and deal with the French threat. France might even take Machu. Now, I think once he's lost Cusco, he's not really going to be that much of a problem. I don't really want to wipe him out because he is really my only direct neighbour, and therefore, outside of the city-states, is my only trading partner, really. That said, I think once we get Cusco, it might be within range of France. What do we want to grab over here? I guess an army wouldn't be bad. It is going to be kind of a frontline city. Let's go ahead and grab an armory. We do have another Huacha coming in, so we should be fine. We're not working these university slots. We could probably be doing that. So how about we go ahead and work the university slots? We're not bothered about the workshop anymore. We are on production focus. Is there any better food tiles we could be working? Not really. We've got most of the decent food tiles, I think. It's going to grow in 17 turns, which is not great. But that's probably about the best it's going to do, unless I give up some sort of pure production tiles and go into some pure food tiles. So we can go from a 17 turn growth to an 11 turn growth. That is actually significant, really, isn't it? Any other tiles that aren't giving us at least 2 food that we're working? Not really. Okay, well, that should be fine then. Oh, obviously the mountain, but we want the gold coming in. We're definitely going to need that. So that'll speed things up a little bit. Promoter unit, you are going to have rough terrain because you're going to go and work your way over here. So what I want to try and do, as I said, I'm not just going to YOLO my way in and try and take Cusco because we'll take heavy losses. What I actually want to do is just try and thin some of his units out. And that will mean that my units will get experience. And since I've been playing on higher difficulty levels, I've really been appreciating the value of units that have promotions. Especially when you get ranged units that have things like +1 range and logistics and stuff like that. It makes them so valuable. Just imagine having a crossbow that has a 3-tile range and can fire twice in a single turn. It just makes them so good against cities. We've finished our university here. We could actually go ahead and start work on Oxford. That's not a bad idea, but I'd prefer to get it in the capital. Let's go ahead and grab a shrine just quickly because we don't have one here, and it would be nice to actually get some more faith coming in. One thing that I was considering, and where were you going? You were going to Zhengzhou with production. I think we'll keep that going for now. One thing that I was considering is maybe when I get my next... yeah, well, we need to unlock rationalism so we can build the porcelain tower anyway. So I'm going to have to put my next point in rationalism. But I was thinking that it might be good to try and grab maritime production. +3 production in all coastal cities. Kind of wish I'd have gone there instead of aesthetics now, but I mean, all of our cities are coastal. So already we'd be getting an extra 12 production out of it. I don't know, it's something I'll think about. It depends on how many free social policies I feel that I have that I can spend. Now you've made life very difficult by moving units where I wanted to move. I'm actually surprised that he's still posturing down here on the border, given the fact that he's currently at war with France. It seems like a little bit of a strange move to me, but no, there you go. And maybe we won't start Oxford University straight away, because maybe we want to wait and get the porcelain tower built. Machinery is stolen. Maybe it's time to get a constabulary. We're working on the Sistine Chapel. That's not going to be long before that is finished. We might be able to hard build the porcelain tower. No, we don't need that. The question is, I suppose, has anybody else gone rationalism yet? I guess that's what I want to check. Because if nobody else has gone rationalism, nobody else will be able to build the porcelain tower. And oddly enough, even though the AI actually gets a massive bonus to science in this game, the AI rarely actually goes for rationalism. Tradition, liberty, patronage, honour and aesthetics, piety and aesthetics, tradition and aesthetics, liberty and honour, piety and aesthetics, tradition, aesthetics and commerce. Yeah, so nobody, at least at the moment, has... I'm not sure what's going on over here, if anything. Nobody at the moment has taken rationalism. Choose production. We have finished a huacha here. What would be useful for us? This is not even our capital, is it? We could build Oxford University here, but I'd prefer to give it the extra 3 science in the capital, where we've got our national college. Let us go and... Any point getting stables? Well, we do have cows and horses in range. So it's probably worth getting a stable there. That'll give us a lot more production. Unit needs orders. Huacha, you are definitely going to move up to the front line. I haven't really got a good spot that I can put you on. I'd like to get you maybe here. So we'll move you to here, and then we'll have to try and sort of find a way to squeeze you in. This is going to delay the war by another turn or two. But unfortunately, Pachacuti has a lot of units that are on the tiles that I want to be on. We should be able to sort this out, though. In fact, I found a much better way of doing this, I think. So you are going to move onto this hill. You are going to move forwards. You are going to move forwards. You are going to move up onto the hill. That should be some good positioning. So we will declare war on the next turn. You finish the mine. I suppose some barbarians will come along and pillage that shortly. So you can go over there and go and get that worked up. I know someone was commenting on a video the other day, kind of complaining that I missed a border growth. It does happen. As I said, it's very, very difficult to sort of keep a coherent commentary going and concentrate on every single little pop-up that happens. And I am bound to miss some pop-ups that do trigger. But, you know, it's not too bad. If it was on deity, then yeah, missing a tile for a few turns could make a huge deal of difference, but it's not going to make a great deal of difference at this difficulty level. I mean, if I was totally mismanaging my tiles constantly, then yeah, possibly, but the odd 1 or 2 tiles isn't going to be a huge problem. So I think we're ready to go to war. We do have a couple of units close to us, which is a little bit annoying, but I think we can actually deal with those. Borders of Zhengzhou have grown. Well, we're not going to be working that tile anyway, so we don't need to worry about it. Right, so. Choose production. That is go. Well, we finished the shrine. Do we have any sea resources that we are working? Well, we don't. There is some fish there, so we should definitely go ahead and get a fishing boat or a work boat. And then let's go ahead and queue a cargo ship up there as well. And we're not actually working the science tiles, which we could be. 3 turns until new growth. We only have 4 citizens. I'm going to let that grow first, actually. So we'll let that grow, and then we might... Because it doesn't have enough population to really support some specialists. You are still at war with France. So let us go and declare war on you. Let's do it here, because I don't have the spy in there. He is friendly, but we will be declaring war on you. So he does have an allied city-state. He has a couple of trade routes to me, which I don't care about. Yeah, I just don't care. Insta-plunder the caravan. Fantastic. Now, obviously, he's got some units here. Let's go ahead and use the old huacha here. Didn't do as much damage as we'd have hoped. Obviously, these crossbowmen might take a little bit of a beating. Right, if we do a little bit of damage with these pikemen... the reason I attacked with the pikemen first is I didn't want the pikemen to move into that tile. I should be able to hit them and finish them off with the crossbows now. Fantastic. Nobody else is in range. Do I want to move these crossbows forward onto the marsh? Because they do have to cross the river to come this way. I think I'm going to move the crossbows here and put the huacha in the forest. They do have a cheeky little knight trying to work his way around on the outside. We'll have to keep our eye on him. You're going to build a pasture. You are just going to fortify. Shame I didn't really have time to go and build a fort over here, really, but I think that's fine. Now, I don't want to get into city bombardment range. I just want to start thinning out some of his units. So I'm just going to sit here for a few turns. Let him start bringing some of his units towards me. Sistine Chapel is completed, which is fantastic. What I might do, because it's still rough terrain, that will be out of bombard range of Cusco. I think I'm going to take these longswordsmen and actually move them forward. And then put the Huacha up here on the hill, where it'll be a little bit more useful. Sistine Chapel has completed. How long would it take me to get Oxford University? Only 8 turns. 5 turns will have finished architecture. I haven't got anything queued up after architecture. I guess what I could do is I could get architecture and then economics. And then go straight into scientific theory. Or we could get chemistry and get extra production from mines and quarries. This is another little thing that I like about the enhanced user interface mod as well. When you have a technology that upgrades something, instead of it just having a little star that you have to mouse over that tells you what it gives you, it actually gives you the icon for the thing that it upgrades and then shows you whether it upgrades production, money or food, which is really, really nice. Could also go chemistry and start working my way towards gunpowder. But I think what we'll do is we'll delay Oxford University for the time being. We'll go architecture into chemistry, and then what we'll do at some point is we'll actually try and grab we'll try and use Oxford to grab scientific theory or something like that. So what are we going to build here instead of Oxford University? I guess we could go ahead and get our ironworks. It's not a bad idea, so let's do that. Probably don't need to be working that workshop right now. 37 turns away from a great engineer. Let's untick him. And work what? That's not a good tile. Let's not be working that. You're going to be working that tile. That's fine. But you are working most of the tiles that are worth working, it has to be said. Let's go ahead and work this tile then. It is some food and it's an extra little bit of science. What else did we have in there, actually? Writers Guild. 31 turns for a new great writer. Do we have any more slots for works of great writing? Get the right thing. We have one more in Seoul, so we could get another great work of writing. That's fine. We're actually starving, though, right now. You're not really building anything that is a huge rush, so how about if we stop working that and put you in a tile that has 2 food? Still not great, is it really? Let us go and untick one of the science slots and put you in another 2 food slot. There we go. It's going to grow slowly, but we'll get a new writer relatively quickly. Unit needs orders. I think you're probably fine staying there for now. I'd love to know where that knight has gone. You're going to set up ready for attack. You still need orders, but you can just go on alert. You can heal up a little bit. You can go on to alert. You can go on to alert. And we have a cargo ship here who can carry on going to Zurich where it was before, because it was giving us a decent amount of gold. I'm actually very surprised that he hasn't actually come towards me with more units yet. I guess he probably sees France as a bigger threat right now. Now, he is actually attacking my longswordsman, which is a little bit of a pain here. These longswordsmen might actually take more of a beating than I hoped they would, but they are in rough terrain. We try and keep them fortified, and we'll just try and do as much damage as possible to those who are close by. So let's see what we can do here. We probably should back up a little bit, but I think they're going to be fine in general. Now, these guys can't fire over the hills, which gives them a little bit of a problem. You can fire from here, though. And you can almost finish off that long swordsman. So he's almost dead. You could finish him off, but I think you're just actually going to go into proper fortified mode. Such a shame I can't attack with you. I think we're going to move you around. We can't really take a shot from there because we're out of moves. But next turn, if you're still there, we can. Let's try and make sure we wipe these guys out. They are only composite bowmen, so they're not too much of a problem right now. Don't really want to move the Hwacha into the marsh. Could, of course, move you out and go and attack that knight and then move this crossbow forward. That's not a terrible idea, because it's still giving us some zone of control. It's pinning them in a little bit, so I think that's fine. Obviously, these guys are going to take some more damage, but I think they should be able to survive the round. Yeah, they are going to attack with the lance. Are they lancers or knights? They're knights. Yeah, they've actually ran away with that swordsman, so that's fine. So, first thing we want to do is make sure we can try and kill this Incan swordsman here. And then we want to try and pull this guy back so we can recover him a little bit. So, let's go ahead and fire at these guys. I was going to say we didn't even need to use the Hwacha there, but we do. So, we'll kill you off with the Hwacha. We'll swap these two units. Now, I have to give him a promotion. Heal instantly is always a waste. Let's give him Drill 2. And then we will get these two guys to swap positions, and then he can heal up. You're absolutely fine where you are. You're embarked. Thank you very much for making it such an easy kill. I guess I could move the Hwacha forwards. Can't set up on this turn, but on the next turn we can set up and do a little bit of bombard. That's fine. Think you're just going to stay there for the time being. You can also heal up. Let's see what he's going to throw at me now. Remember, he's still at war with France. Yeah, I was a little bit afraid of that, because the Hwachas are very weak. However, he is having to attack across the river, so that doesn't help him an awful lot. So what we'll try and do is we'll see if we can kill him off with the crossbows, because if we can do that, then we can heal the Hwacha up. That's fine. So you go ahead and take a shot. And I'm betting you probably can't reach him, can you? Oh, you can. No, there he's dead. So that means we can just heal the Hwacha up on this turn. You are going to heal up. Might as well just fully heal everything up. So we've already wiped out a few of their units. I think we'll give you accuracy. And we'll just move you over here, just so you've got a bit of a better view. Oh, that's not somewhere I wanted to go, really, is it? I can't take a shot from here, which is a bit of a shame. I could swap the Hwacha around and give it a bit of a better line of sight, but I don't think it needs one. Can we swap you guys in one turn? Yes. Let's do that then. It's putting some more of my weaker units on the front line, but he needs to heal up. We've got our work boat. Fantastic. You're going to go down here and work the fish. And then we'll just go and assign some tiles. We do now actually have our extra population here as well, which is great. So we're definitely working that because it's an excellent tile. You'll work in the production there. That's 3 production, but I think having 2 production and 2 food is going to be better because it will allow more growth. Still think it was a little bit low to worry about. I'd love to be able to grab that as well, actually. What's our production like? 11 turns, 12 turns for the cargo ships. Let's go and work that. 13 turns. But at least we are getting some extra faith. So we'll work that for the time being. It's not too bad. We're not in a huge rush for that production. You can just sit there. Let's go on to the next turn. See what happens. This will be the final turn for the end of the video because it is going on a little bit longer than I had hoped. But I think we're doing well. Also, we're going to get a... is that an academy or is it a manufactory? I can never quite tell. There's a customs house. Wow, the Incans have a customs house. Oh, that's why I couldn't tell what it was, because I'm not used to seeing those. But free customs house, yay. Now, you won't be able to shoot over the forest, which is a real pain in the hoop. The Hwacha will. So, I'll go and shoot at you. Surprisingly, that hasn't killed it. Oh, it did, actually. We got lucky on the roll there. That's a good thing. Now, we do know that we've got that other unit over here somewhere. The problem I have got is moving in with these guys. Yeah, there's a fully healed pikeman there. And I've just gone ahead and moved into marsh, which isn't fantastic, really. You guys just need to carry on healing up. You guys are going to... I'm going to have to start moving forward with the crossbows anyway, because we need to be able to get close to Cusco at some point. Everyone else is literally just going to sit around and heal up. I think you can move forwards to this tile now. It gives you a bit more scope over in this direction. If I move you any further forwards, you are going to be in bombardment range. So let's just keep you where you are for the time being. We could always move you forward and then bring you out to there. That's probably not a terrible idea, so let's do that, and you can just alert up. And that, again, is all I can do on this turn. It is a little bit risky because we are now starting to move a lot of our weaker ranged units towards the front, but I think we've actually killed off quite a lot of his units. He's got a good mine over there, isn't he? We've killed off quite a lot of his units. Looks like France is definitely making some progress on Machu over here. Is he still at war with France? At war with France and Korea, yeah. So he is actually still at war with France, which is really, really good. We should be able to take Cusco. If we get some crossbows, the only problem is going to be getting the crossbows in range to take a volley of shots without actually getting shot by the city itself. His religion isn't giving him anything. It's giving it, faster border growth, pre-land industrial units, yeah. So it's not like he's got one of the religions that gives him the combat bonuses or anything like that. So that's not too bad. So we should be able to take Cusco. That'll cripple the Incans, and then we'll have to decide where we go from there. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization 5, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, goodbye for now.